Are you tired of explaining everything? You try again and again to put your feelings into words that don't come out wrong. But every time you speak, it feels like you're constantly defending yourself for no reason. So one day, you stop. Not because you've run out of words, but because you've learned that sometimes words just aren't worth it. Not every battle needs to be fought out loud. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can say is nothing at all. Silence can be a quiet strength, especially when it comes to handling emotions, communicating clearly, and becoming someone people naturally trust. When you pause and sit quietly, you give yourself space to actually feel what's going on inside. In that stillness, you begin to understand your emotions more clearly. Think about it. You've probably had moments where you said something out of anger or frustration and immediately wished you hadn't. That's where silence steps in. It gives you time to breathe, calm your nerves, and respond with intention instead of reacting on impulse. And when that happens, you stay in control, not your emotions. This becomes especially powerful in tense moments. If someone's upset or a conversation starts to heat up, silence can be a reset button. It gives both of you a moment to breathe before saying something that might escalate things. That's when real listening and problem solving can begin. You avoid saying something you don't mean, and instead you give the situation room to settle, and sometimes that space is exactly what's needed. A single pause can lead to a much more thoughtful, respectful conversation later on. Instead of reacting right away, take a moment to simply notice what's happening. Silence gives you a chance to observe, without rushing to a label, blame, or fix. It allows you to come back to the moment with more clarity, empathy, and compassion. But silence doesn't only help during conflict, it strengthens connection too. When you hold back from jumping in with advice or arguments, you show others that their words matter. You also reduce the risk of saying something that might come off as hurtful or critical. By choosing to listen first, you give yourself time to understand the full picture. And that's how you keep things kind, calm, and grounded. Over time, people begin to feel safe around you. They trust that you won't interrupt, judge, or push too hard. That kind of silence builds strong, respectful relationships. It also makes you a better communicator. Why? Because you're listening more than you're speaking. You start to hear not just the words, but what people really mean. And when you do speak, your words carry more weight. They feel intentional, thoughtful, and real. Because sometimes someone doesn't need your advice. They just need your presence. In those moments, silence can say everything. No pressure, no fixing, just being there. It's how you say, "I'm here, I've got you." No need to rush in with the words. Just staying present is enough. And when words feel too small, your quiet attention says it all. Your silence doesn't mean you're distant. It can be deeply reassuring. A gentle look, a calm presence, a simple nod. They can speak volumes. On the flip side, talking too much can backfire. When you fill every silence, people may tune out, or you may say something you later regret. That's why less can truly be more, kind of like the negative space on a canvas. Speaking less shows confidence and composure. It also gives others less to misunderstand or use against you. And if you're in a leadership role or simply someone others look to, silence becomes a powerful tool. True leadership isn't about dominating the conversation. It's about creating space for others to share, reflect, and contribute. When people feel heard, they feel valued. And when they feel valued, they want to follow your lead. But silence doesn't only benefit your relationships, it connects you to yourself. When life gets too noisy or overwhelming, taking a quiet moment helps you reset. Silence lets your mind settle, your body relax, and your thoughts organize themselves. In that quiet, you get a clearer sense of what matters and what doesn't. That's how you grow, heal, and reconnect with who you are. And when you have that clarity, your decisions become more intentional, more aligned with your values and your long-term goals. Over time, something deeper begins to unfold. Using silence as a practice helps you develop emotional maturity. You start noticing your patterns, pausing before reacting, and choosing how you want to show up. And that kind of awareness, that's how real growth begins. Personally, professionally, and in every relationship you have. Silence doesn't just change how you feel, it changes how others see you. When you're quiet, people don't know what you're thinking. That makes you harder to figure out. You can learn a lot just by watching and listening while everyone else is talking. But if you need to speak, think before you do. Power comes from knowing when to talk and when to keep quiet. If you can't control your mouth, people will think you can't control anything else either. Be mysterious. Say things in a way that keep people guessing. And when you do, avoid over-explaining. When you explain too much, you sound nervous or unsure. Confident people don't need to explain everything. Let your actions do the talking. Trust that if you stay calm and clear, others will believe in you. No need for extra words. Keep a little mystery about you. Don't always give straight answers. If people are always trying to figure you out, they'll stay interested. And that gives you the upper hand. If people are always trying to figure you out, they're always trying to understand you. And that makes people more curious to hear what you have to say. When people don't know what you want or how you think, that curiosity gives you an edge. If they think you're unpredictable, they'll be more cautious around you, and that puts you in control. So hold some of yourself back. Let others wonder, because while mystery gives you power over how others see you, it also gives you something just as important: space. Space to think, to breathe, to return to yourself. And in that space, something starts to change. Your mind starts to clear. You begin to notice what's real, what's true and important. Big choices feel a little less intimidating. Emotions become easier to hold. That's the power of slowing down. So slow down and really pay attention to what you're doing. Whether you're eating, walking, or just sitting, try being all there, fully. Your brain functions best when it's not overloaded with noise and tasks. You don't need to be thinking non-stop. In fact, when your mind is quiet, your best ideas tend to come through more clearly. Take a moment to just breathe. Do nothing. Let your thoughts settle. And remember, you don't have to wait for silence to find you. You can create it. Sit in a quiet room. Take a peaceful walk. Even a few minutes of stillness opens a path back to yourself. No phone, no music, just you. And as you move through the day, speak less to impress and more to connect. Let go of needing all the answers. That's part of your quiet power. Stillness isn't laziness. It's not doing nothing. It's doing the most important thing. Finding clarity, strength, and peace within yourself. You already have this ability inside you. All you have to do is pause and listen.